Welcome back to Danny Rants. This week we have a very special guest and a long-term friend of mine. We have a club kid from back in the Dizzy, a DJ, a producer, a scene legend, Mr. Sammy La Marca. How are you, my bro?
Hey, brother, I am good, man. It's good to be here with you.
I don't think we've caught up for a decent amount of time in person. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, man. It's been ages.
So winding all the way back, man, I know your story because a little bit of a tidbit, but we actually went to the same high school together. So I think I've just finished as you came in or something around there. Maybe we were at the school at the same time. So I know a fair bit about your journey, and a big part of your journey actually is a part of my old company, Loud.
For sure.
Winding all the way back, dude. You're a young fucking 15-year-old kid. You start to DJ. There's a whole bunch of shit you're doing. You're going viral on YouTube and shit. Can you go and explain to me how and you got into the scene and sort of like the beginning of Sammy La Marca?
Yeah, man. So it all started for me. I actually got into like a love of music properly when I was in high school, at our school, doing a music class, man. And they
did music there?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
No, when I was there.
Nah, probably not. And then they got us onto like FL Studio, like just doing a bit of electronic music production. And that's where I sort of started dabbling in that. And I was like, this is actually fucking sick. And then from that, it just sort of snowballed into me like buying some decks, you know, from Cash Converters or whatever, some Citronics and a Newmark 2-channel mixer, just Povo stuff, man. But it was all you need, bro. And then, you know, I just do the rounds around the hood, bro, just doing all the fucking house parties and stuff. Mum and dad will drop me off, big container full of shit, full of gear. And yeah, just set up the fucking speakers and stuff, all the amps with the wires into the back, all the old school shit.
Yeah.
And that's just how it started, man. And like I was really big in the shuffle scene as well. I love shuffling, bro. So I just sort of went hand in hand, like loving shuffling and hard styles and all the shuffle meetups and stuff, and then starting to DJ as well. And then it all just sort of merged into one, and that's just how it pretty much started snowballing for me, man.
But you were super young, right? Like how old were you when you first started?
Yeah, I was like 14, bro. We're talking like 2009.
So why do you like, again, going back to my generation, I know it was only 5 or 6 years between us, but like dance music really wasn't a thing when in my early teens. You were the first generation where dance music was fucking massive.
Yep.
How were you kind of getting access to that music early? Because you were into the club shit at 14.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was, as I said before, when I was growing up, we had no access to it. How the fuck did you get so ingrained in it or indoctrinated in it so early?
That's a good question, eh? Like, I think a lot of it was probably from LimeWire and those sort of websites, the Kurova Music Forum, that was a good one. And you had like livingelectro.com and all these websites. That's where I used to find a lot of the music, man. And also, it's actually hard to try and think back on where the access came from for a lot of that stuff, because I was even playing stuff like Avicii and all that sort of shit as well as they were coming up, you know, and Martin Garrix and all that stuff. I was playing fucking everything, man. I was playing Chris Brown stuff. I was playing I was doing these house parties, dude. There was no genre that was untouched. I was doing it all, man. So I was just ripping shit off YouTube, off fucking LimeWire, just anywhere I could get my hands on tunes, bro. And also, like, this was the CD days as well. So I just literally be buying CDs and chucking them in the CDJs.
Yeah, no shit, because it's like, and again, you're probably right. Like when, again, YouTube was just for fucking cat videos when I was 14.
Yeah, that's right.
And then prior to that, you couldn't download tunes. Like it wasn't a thing. You had to go buy and like burn them.
Yeah.
So you guys had access to the first time where you could stream and, you know, put stuff up and upload. You kind of the early stages of that. I guess social media, not social media, but like direct to fucking consumer music or video.
Yeah, for sure.
The YouTube shit when you're there, even with the shuffling, I'm pretty sure I remember you being a little shuffler on the outside of Knox.
Yeah, bro, yeah, Knox bus bays, man.
Yeah.
Every Friday, mate, King of Westfield.
Yeah. But I remember you boys hanging out like at the back of the food court. But again, you were little kids, and that was like, you know, it was a culture that was involved in over 18 scene.
Yeah, for sure.
Where were you getting access to that stuff?
Yeah, I think it was the same thing, man. Just fucking any of those like little forums and stuff where you could find the rips and all that. That's pretty much where it was at, man.
And watching the videos and shit.
Watching the
YouTube
videos, going through the track list. Yeah, Melbourne Shuffle compilation videos. Yeah, man. Yeah.
What kind of impact do you reckon that had, like for the first time really ever, that like 14 or 15-year-old kids had access to all this dance culture from Melbourne Shuffling to Kurova forums, all that sort of stuff? Yeah. What impact do you reckon that had for those 14 and 15-year-old kids?
Oh, I think it was massive. Huge, man. I don't know, like it's hard to put into words really, because like I said, like that sort of stuff, like dancing and shuffling, like that shaped me big time. Like I've been through every phase over the years, man. I've done Muzza, emo, scene, fucking bogan. I've done all of it, man. But the Muztec days will fucking stand out for sure, big time.
In those early days when you were DJing parties, I know that area because I grew up in it.
Yeah.
No doubt, man, you would have seen some fucking hectic brawls there.
Oh, 100%.
Is there any that you remember?
Yeah, I remember one of when I was playing at Noisy Neighbours and some fucking idiot smashed me in the fucking head from behind. Yeah, that was grouse. Yeah, thanks to all my mates back then for helping me out. You cunts didn't help me out for shit.
What's the story there?
Oh, some guy apparently used to give him grief on MySpace or something. Probably not, but he probably just had issues and decided to take it out of me when I was playing a set at about 16 years old. So yeah, from behind when I was playing.
So coming up, man, like
where from?
Say again?
What a crumb.
Yeah, bad. Fucking dog. Well, like a cow punch or whatever.
Yeah.
So going back then too, when you were in the area and you were kind of like doing things differently, you know, you're DJing, you were uploading shit on YouTube, you were shuffling and all that sort of stuff. That tall poppy, you're obviously looking to do something different or live a life that you have now for fucking almost 20 years, differently than everybody else. How is that tall poppy in the area?
What do you mean exactly?
So tall poppy's like
people try to bring you down and stuff.
Yeah, always people trying to bring you down.
Oh
yeah.
man, there's always gonna be haters, man. Like you know how it is. We all know how it is, bro. Like people literally just love to try and bring you down. Joe Rogan said it best once, man. He said the only people that try to bring you down are people that are below you. And that resonated with me hard. It's like, fuck, that's so true. There's never really a sick cunt who tries to bring another sick cunt down. Like, why would ya? It's always just cunts that wish they were you, man.
Yeah, and if you're killing it, you're not looking at what other people are doing. You don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And I'm the opposite. You know, if I see someone killing it, then I'll try to G them the fuck up. I love it. Some people are just toxic though.
Yeah, 100%.
But it just, mate, it makes you want to just do what you do even better, doesn't it?
So you're doing the house parties, then you go into underages, and you were DJing clubs at like 16, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. So I was playing underage stuff like for you as well. With
Sorry, what?
No, underage actual events.
Oh, yeah. We did one in Box Hill.
Box Hill Town Hall and stuff. Yeah, with for opening for Bombs Away at Electric Carnival. Yeah, and then I started playing Noisy Neighbours and Hidden Forest, Corova. Just running around there with me, bringing me big DJ bag, bro. That's as good as an ID back in the day.
And like again, you were pretty short back then. You definitely looked fucking 16.
Absolutely, man. I think I probably got even shorter since then now.
So how did that go when you were younger, like getting into the overage scene when you were underage? Was it difficult or was it something that was easier then?
Yeah, look, I mean, back then there was no scan tech and stuff. And you just, like I said, man, you just sort of used the DJ bag as a form of an ID, you know, they just sort of didn't ask. Yeah, got looked after in that way, which was sick. You know, being 16 years old, rocking up to Noisy Neighbours, wearing Ugg boots and skipping the line. Felt like a king.
You probably were, Eric.
Yeah, for sure.
So what were you playing originally in those first days when you were kind of cutting your teeth as a 16-year-old?
When I started playing it like Noisy and stuff, man, that was all Melbourne. That was all the Melbourne bangers, man. All the mad shit. And I was producing flat out as well. So I'd play sets. Like a lot of my sets, I'd just play all my own shit. You know, that's when I was releasing a track every week, man. It was just going berserk. And it's funny actually, because just a few days ago, I released on my SoundCloud, I re-released like all my old stuff in a big playlist. So I've been listening through all those again lately from like the last 15 years of my productions, man. And it's fucking proper trip down memory lane, listening to them all. It's sick. So yeah, because I hid them all a while ago when I started breaking into the psychedelic scene, because I didn't want it to be a merge of like, you know, those sort of clash of styles. And it got to a point now where I've cemented myself in that scene. I've got cemented myself in the previous scene. So I thought, you know what, it's about time that I really bring these tracks back and just give them back to the people that, you know, a lot of my fans now would never even have known that I made that stuff over 10 years ago. Yeah, so it's cool. It shows a lot of diversity and stuff. So it's cool to have all those old tracks back up there.
You talk about that diversity, but like, you know, prior to probably fucking 4 years ago, you weren't allowed to be diverse. So if you did have a life beforehand, you almost had to delete it, like you said, hide it.
Absolutely.
Now it's almost celebrated. Like people want to play different genres. Yep. Everything's about multi-genre. You got guys like Dom Dollar who's making a house track and then he's making a fucking rave track. Like you're able to do that.
Yep.
What's the change that you've seen from that? Like how it's changed recently?
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason why it's becoming more diverse, I reckon it's just because people are getting bored of hearing the same stuff so often, man. And you get those people that break the mold, you know, someone like myself or like Dom or anyone who's playing multi-genre sets. And it just, if you're going to listen to that and you're going to go into the other room of the club and listen to someone who's playing the exact same genre the whole time, I think it's a no-brainer which one you're going to rather see, man. One's more of a performance. You know, I'll be mixing a hip-hop at 80 BPM. I'll scratch it out into 180 BPM psytrance and then back down into 135 techno. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting and it keeps people captivated, that sort of thing, man. Me personally, I love like mixing multi-genres. I'm just love being busy on the decks, man. I get bored just standing there. I'll play a track for like a minute and a half and then that's it. Next one, bang, 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 bang. Just keep chopping and changing.
So winding back to that thing, you're 16, 17 years old, you're playing Noisy Neighbours, Corova, all those sort of biggest clubs at that time.
Yep.
When do you sort of start to take it more serious and go, fuck, this could be actually something that I do long term?
I think look, I'm massive on self-belief, man. Like I knew from the first time I touched the decks, you know, like can't say I knew for sure, but I had a feeling that like this was going to be my thing forever, you know? And like, so I always believed in myself big time. In terms of like when it actually started feeling properly real, I think around when I was around even 18, man, when you guys signed me to Loud, you know, and the first weekend of gigs that I had through Loud was I played at Revolver for the Loud Invasion to a full house at Revs on a Saturday morning. And that was insane. I was 18 years old. And then that same weekend, the night before that, I headlined Fake Tits at Tramp. You know, and from that moment on, I was like, this could be something serious if I don't fuck around with this, you know, and take it seriously. And then, you know, the whole way through, man, I've just been, you know, really just tried my best to stay motivated. And obviously there's times when, you know, you might doubt yourself or this and that, and the gigs can slow down. You know, people need to realize that it's inconsistent, you know, it can be. And then that's when people really have to not get in your own head and think that, you know, it's all coming crashing down. If it gets inconsistent, that's sweet. Just keep toughing it out and just don't turn down gigs and just smash it out. And you get to a point where it's consistently coming in, man. You just keep building your name. Just got to grind it out, bro.
Yeah, fuck. When you talk about grinding it out, you've done it. But it's one of those things, right? Like I know you just told me then you were 18 when you did the Loud Invades Revs events we used to do, and then Fake Tits. And because I knew you so much younger, it's like, I thought you were fucking 25 then. Yeah, like,
yeah, I know.
It feels like you've been around forever.
Yeah.
And to hear you say that you were 18 then, it's 18 then, has actually blown my mind.
It's crazy, right? Yeah, I know. It's like 12 years ago. I'm 30 now, man. So yeah, it's been ages.
In those early days, you're playing these iconic gigs at 18 years old. What kind of style of tunes were you playing at that point?
Oh, a lot of minimal, bro. Mainly minimal. Yeah, a lot of my own stuff and just Melbourne minimal. A lot of some Euro minimal and stuff as well, but like really dialed into that. Just 128 BPM, just real low end focus, that big fucking kick, big bass, you know, that sort of stuff that really hit hard, man. All the classics, yeah.
How'd you learn to start making those tunes like when you were younger? Like how the fuck did you even get access to the software or teach yourself to do it?
I was all self-taught, man. I've never had a single production lesson or DJ lesson ever, just all self-taught. And this was like, I mean, this is before the days of the YouTube tutorials and stuff as well. Like this day and age, man, if you want to learn, like people say to me all the time, you know, I want to learn to produce, it looks so hard. I'm like, man, like it's so accessible these days to become a world-class producer if you can be bothered watching the tutorials, you know. But back then there was nothing, man. You just had to sort of just download that shit and just fuck around with it until you got it right, just trial and error. And that's producing to a team, man. It's just trial and error till the day you stop. Like it's one of those things. There's no one that's the best producer in the world. It's impossible to be the top. It's like trying to say there's the best guitarist in the world. Like there's no one, man. It's an instrument. It can constantly be changed. Everyone has their own way to do it, you know. So I just taught myself, bro, and I'm still teaching myself to this day.
And so did you buy software or was it cracked back then?
That was cracked as, man, yeah. Fucking 100%. I only started like buying actual software like probably in the last maybe 4 years. Up until then, I was ripping all that shit.
I feel like, man, I find that kind of period of time so interesting because it's like, you know, back then Melbourne was sort of bustling. We've always been like an epicenter for music when it comes to like this side of the world. And without that cracked fucking software that all these kids had access to, and then all these forums and LimeWire and all these dudes producing thinking they could become the next fucking Sven Vath, the whole world and this scene that we like now look back at and, you know, or evolved in now doesn't exist. Yeah. So it's like we needed those crack softwares and we needed that access for young guys to get involved in it because otherwise, no one would have had the journeys they do now.
100%, because no one would have been able to afford it, man.
Yeah. Fuck,
like,
imagine.
That shit's expensive as.
Yeah, imagine if you had to buy it.
Yeah, these people just wouldn't have become who they are.
Yeah.
There's no way.
In that period of time, man, like obviously you're 18, you're young, you're fucking loving it, whatever. What's the difference that you see back then than to now? Is there a change?
Oh, it's night and day. Yeah, it's heaps, man. I mean, in terms of the scene, like I think the biggest thing that played a huge factor in changing the DJ scene is definitely social media. I know, you know, like the risk of sounding like, you know, an old cunt, like it was just different back in that day. Seriously, like there was no videos that were up all the time on socials of people that are playing all over the world, this and that, and not that there's anything wrong with that, it's the best, we all post whatever, but like back in the day, like the DJs were the DJs. That was it, man. There wasn't another person who was deciding to start DJing every second day. You know what I mean? Like the flyers more or less had the same names on them. You know, we just rotate in and out sort of thing. And now, man, you get these kids that will see a TikTok of someone playing a track, and I don't want to generalize, but a lot of the time they just decide that they want to do it for the wrong reasons. It might be to get some pussy, to get some drink cards, or whatever, man. That shit comes regardless if you want it. You know what I mean? It's about the music, or it should be, right? So you get these kids that are getting into DJing just for the wrong reasons, and it sort of saturates the scene, and it makes the profession, you know, as a whole, look less serious. You know, and I find that really interesting, and that's why, you know, these people that get into it for the wrong reasons, they do get sort of chewed up and spat back out.
In those early days, right, were you doing any form of content like people do now?
I was always posting a lot of like Facebook videos and stuff when I could, but like the thing is, man, like people weren't really recording that much back then either. and our cameras were fucking shit.
Yeah, bad.
So, you know, it's like, and I get the Facebook on this day, the memories, they come up all the time and they're so grainy, but it also makes it sort of sick, man, you know? Even Instagram, like Instagram wasn't around really when Noisy Neighbours days, there was no Instagram. Corova, no Instagram, nothing like that. So, yeah, it definitely wasn't filming that much stuff. It was all just about if you were there, you got to experience it, you know?
Do you think that the phones at gigs constantly now has had an impact on their vibe?
I think it is, but it would also be like, it's a bit of a double-edged sword for the DJ, you know? It definitely impacts the vibe to an extent, but I'd also be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy it as well or appreciate it, because I mean, if someone's filming me when I'm playing and posting it, then it's obviously gonna work in my favor too. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword for sure, but I do love the exposure.
Yeah, for sure. I totally understand you. Like, it kind of takes away a bit from the dance floor, but at the same time, it's like you need it for you to go to that next level.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, get that audience. It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, and also if someone's filming me playing, it means that they love what I'm doing as well. So it's a good feeling too, you know.
There's a kind of wild thing here that Mango told me, like a good friend of ours, but he was saying that he's getting these guys come in for their first gig ever now, and they're rolling into Turbo with a camera crew, and it's their first gig. And they play that one set and then never come back again. Yeah. And that to me is like, you know, for guys who have been doing as long as us, it's like, it's almost fucking rude, you know? Like, you got to kind of, you got to do your penance first before you can even consider that shit.
Absolutely, man. And it's funny you say that, because like, even, you know, I get asked for advice all the time, every other day, with DMs, in person, if I'm out, you know, whatever. And it's the best. I love giving everyone advice and stuff on how to take your stuff to the next level, or just how to get started, you know? And a lot of the time, you know, I'll be asked advice from people that you can tell straight away if they're in it for the right reason or not, you know? Sometimes I'll get asked advice from a young kid or whatever. They'll be like, blah, 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 Sammy, I've been DJing for 3 months, but, you know, I've been turning down gigs because I'm not getting offered enough money, or I'm only getting offered opening slots. And I'll be like, hold up, brother, or, you know, hold up, sister. Like, seriously, you got to switch that attitude from the get-go, because, like, mate, I was running around all of Victoria at 18. I was going Bendigo to Tramp, back to fucking Hidden Forest, to fucking Shepparton the next night, sometimes for close to nothing, man. You know what I mean? And just doing it for drink cards, doing it for a tiny fee, whatever. Sometimes playing to a room with no one in it, playing to a couple bussies. You know what I mean? And I still fucking loved it. There's no way that if you love it, that you're turning down gigs after 3 months just because you're not getting offered enough money. Like, so just say to them, look, if you're in it for the right reasons, then you have to switch that mindset, because that's not cool.
Yeah, no shit, because fuck, these days, that's the biggest thing. Like, you get a guy who's been playing for 3 months and like, we want $3,000 now.
Exactly.
And like you're saying,
ridiculous.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was like $80, but you'd play 10 gigs.
Yeah, 100%, man. And we loved it. Still do.
So one of the things about you that's probably different than other DJs, but you talk the talk, but you walk the walk. Like, you are a fucking club rat. You love it.
Yeah.
So in those early days, you weren't just playing these clubs, you also attended them.
Oh, yeah.
What were your favorite clubs you were attending back then?
Back then, I loved Noisy Neighbours, man. That's where I cut my teeth, you know, at the start. And the fact that was a Thursday night is so insane. Like, I've been watching videos from the Whatever TV, like the old media thing on YouTube, just like recently, man. And I forgot just how busy that joint was every week on a Thursday in Ringwood. Fucking crazy, man. I used to love Noisy Neighbours, like Corova, Lady Luck, Lab 22. Revolver's always a staple, man. I just love all the Melbourne clubs. Still do. Still love them all, the ones that are still around.
So what was your favourite? If you had to pick one favourite, what would have been your favourite?
Oh, it's such a hard question. Revs has always stood the test of time. It's hard to go past Revolver.
True.
Oh, Day Spar's honourable mention as well at Pawn and Co.
Yeah, no shit.
That was fucking sick.
So being in these clubs, dude, all the time, you were fucking a little bit of an MVP. I don't reckon you would have been the Jimmy Steins. I don't reckon you missed a week for a good couple of years.
At least.
Was there some crazy shit that you saw in that time that comes to mind?
Oh, a couple of funny ones I can think of. I remember one time when, and it's on video as well, it's deep in the internet, there was a dude who tried to climb into Revs. He obviously couldn't get in, so he tried to climb in over the roof in the smokers, over like the fucking, the barbed wire fence, and he's got stuck in the barbed wire. That's pretty unbelievable. I mean, how desperate can you be, man? You got knocked back. Come back next week. That's a good one. Another one that I remember seeing, I can't remember exactly what club it was at, but it was somewhere in the north side. I was at a techno gig, and there was a dude passed out in a urinal, like in the fucking tray of the urinal, getting pissed on. And like, pretty fucked up, but that was pretty hilarious too, yeah.
I actually have to admit, one time I fell asleep on the shitter.
There you go.
I was cooked. I had been up for like 2 days. It was at TFU. And Jason Colbeck took me outside, gave me a fucking footy speech basically, then made me sit upstairs for 2 hours drinking water like before I was allowed in. So he sin binned me.
Yeah, nice.
But like back then it was more wild. Like you could basically get away with whatever the fuck you wanted.
100% you could, man. Especially because like there was as many people with cameras on them as well. So, you know, you'd see the punch-ons, you'd see security fucking not putting up with people's shit, you know, all this sort of stuff. And you could see people getting in some serious dramas, man. But, you know, everyone has to be super on edge and walk on eggshells these days because everything's filmed.
Yeah, no shit, yeah. Even like CCTV, we used to have like 15 cameras, now you got to have 45. They've got to be like high fucking definition,
Crazy.
Which is good and bad, right? It means if something bad happens, someone gets called for it, then that's awesome. We can catch them quick. But at the same time, you kind of lost that, you lost that looseness and wildness that used to kind of make it special, you know?
100%, man.
You were involved in that kind of period of time where there was still that Melbourne sound, but you weren't really a Melbourne bounce guy. You were more of a Melbourne sound, Melbourne minimal kind of guy.
Yep.
So you were in that underground as it was sort of blowing up. When that was happening, you didn't invest in it. You didn't sort of jump into that wave of DJs that went on to fucking blow up around their world. Why didn't you?
I always wanted to wait until I had a solid like catalog of originals behind me. You know, like I've been offered gigs over the years, you know, here and there, but I always just wanted to wait until, like I had my own originals to play. I didn't want to be flown anywhere else in the world to play someone else's music, man. So that's where it was at for me. But now to the point where I feel like I've, you know, more or less clocked Melbourne, like, you know, not saying I clocked it, but, you know, I've done it all, whatever. I still love doing more of it, of course. There's always more to do, but now I'm at the point where I'm back producing again. You know, I've got some solid tracks behind me. Got my latest track, finished it after I haven't released a track in 5 years, man, and I finished this tune and Sparksy signed it to his label. So
no shit.
Yeah, man, yeah. So when that comes out, I reckon that's going to put me on the map for sure. And then, so I think it'll be about time next year to start touring and stuff overseas.
Because that alumni that you're talking about, like you went one different direction, which we're going to go into, which has been a big part of your life. But alumni that you were knocking around with in those side rooms when you were coming up was your Sparksies, your Joels, and all that sort of shit. Yeah. So you went a different direction. So those guys went more mainstream or commercial, kind of by default. You went the other way around. So you went more underground. You started playing more of those recovery clubs, and then you started getting into bush doofs. Can you walk me into your first sort of experiences into that world? Yeah,
my first doof was when I got booked for Earthcore. Kyle Ham booked me for Earthcore. And,
I think that was Loud Stage 2.
Yeah. You know, and I knew nothing about Earthcore. I was probably 18 years old, man. I knew nothing about it, you know. But I knew nothing about that entire world that would like pretty quickly become my world, you know, like, it was funny because I had to play at, so I say I had to play because I didn't know how cool it was. Like I got to play at Earthcore on the Saturday, but I was playing at Fake Tits on the Friday morning, like the Saturday morning technically, like before we were going to go to Earthcore, me and my mates. And like, you know, we're like, oh yeah, we'll kick around a tramp for a while before we have to drive off to this fucking random bush party thing, you know? Like we had no idea what we were in for, how cool Earthcore is. We're like, yeah, we'll prioritize tramp over, you know? And then we finally get up to Earthcore and we're like, holy fuck, as if we wasted time in tramp smokers before getting to this. This is insane. And like, that's where it all started for me, man. From that first Earthcore, then I ended up doing like fucking, I don't know, 7 rainbows or some shit and strawberry every year and played at every Earthcore. That after that, played every year till it closed and played Babylon and played a rainbow one year and played a little side thing at strawberry and just, you know, Doofs just took over my life, man. And now I've been playing Doofs flat out for many years, dude. Played the Esoteric main stage multiple times and played at Oronaya in Cairns like last weekend, played at Zenith, Babylon, returned to the Source, done heaps of them, bro.
So going into that, man, like I know you said before, it has become your life and it definitely has, you know, you literally wear it on your face. But walk me through that moment you walked in, you thought to yourself, this is fucking me. And like, tell me how that experience felt.
Yeah, so I mean, going from from being the club dude and then walking into this insane party in the Outback, and just seeing the freedom that these people had, you know, it's something that I didn't realize was there. So I mean, I walk into Earthcore, man, in the daytime, and you know, there's people with fucking naked people and people off their heads, people not off their heads, you know, just like cool fashion and real tribal, primal sort of vibes, man, and like that's what I'm all about. And I remember seeing like this cosplay sort of massive battle arena sort of thing with these dudes with like medieval fucking swords and all this shit, doing like this big cosplaying sort of like thing. I'm just like, fuck, what is this joint? Like stuff like that, man. Just like, that's not club stuff, you know. And it's just so fascinating that people are having this much fun and really showing their true selves and like, you know, what they would wish they could do every other day in the normal world. And that's where it really stuck with me, man. And then I haven't even got started on the music that's there, you know what I mean? Like, that's when psytrance really started speaking to me, man, big time. I already loved it, but then getting to hear it through function ones in the bush, you know, when it's so fucking loud and it vibrates so hard that it'll pop the balloon in your hand, that's when I was like, yeah, okay, this is proper.
And you can see it, bro, as you're talking about how like passionate and G'd up is
For
getting.
sure, man. Oh, yeah, it gives me goosebumps, bro.
So you took that and then you kind of came into Melbourne. At the time, we were doing these Reconnect events at Railway, which were fucking mental.
Yeah.
And you sort of became kind of like one of the pillar of the club kids doing psytrance.
Yeah.
Was that a difficult transition for you to do? Doing that what you were seeing in the bush and then emulating it in the city, was that difficult?
No, it was seamless for me, man. I loved it. It felt so natural. Yeah, it just all fell into place for me, man. Like, I'd already loved psytrance. You know, I go back through my USBs from when I was 18, 17, 16. I've still got asterisk tunes, you know, and all that sort of shit. So I did love it. But like I said, getting to experience it like that was different. And then it was cool, like, you know, because you guys were doing the Reconnect parties, and anytime someone brought a Psy act into Melbourne, I was sort of like the first dude that would get the call up to open for him or close from the internationals. And it was such a blessing, man. And still to this day it happens, bro. You know, and like I said, I'm a pretty diverse artist, so it's cool because I can be this side dude, but I can also be like a techno guy, you know, and I can still play a bit of minimal or some hard groove stuff or whatever. So yeah, it's just sort of, it happened pretty seamlessly, just being able to separate the Psy Sammy and the minimal Sammy back then. And then also there'd be sets, and there still is sets where I'll just merge everything together, man.
The bush doof stuff, again, people that have never been, it's impossible for them to understand, right? Yep. It's literally a fucking other world.
It's another world.
Some of the things you've seen when you were more so Australia first, because we'll go into the international stuff, is there some moments that sit with you where you're like, this is fucking not even real?
Oh, for sure. I mean, in terms of DJs I've seen, when I was seeing Captain Hook play the main stage at Rainbow, that was surreal for me because he's my favorite, like probably my favorite DJ ever. You know, and seeing him like playing that main stage, like 20,000 people or 25,000, whenever it was at Rainbow Serpent, you know, like, which was the pinnacle of Aussie festivals, you know, like the best fucking festival ever. Yeah, that will always stand out for sure, man. Yeah.
There's obviously this big sort of misconception that these things are like fucking drug fests in the bush. Can you dispel that, or is that what they are?
I mean, look, man, it depends on how black and white you are and which way you look at it. I mean, yes, obviously it's a place where people are going to, of course, get fucking off their heads, but you know, like like I said, it's a black and white way to look at it, because that's also somewhere where there's people sober too, or there's people bring their kids there and people have transformative life experiences, man. So yeah, of course there's people who are doing drugs, but it's definitely deeper than that. Or it cannot be. It can just be somewhere to go and get fucked off your head on drugs, you know? That's the best thing about these places. It's however the fuck you choose to do that journey there. It's like the doof is your oyster, man. Literally, you do whatever the fuck you want.
So in those doofs, right, there's this big part of tribalism. Every time there's a doof, it starts off, everyone talks about how good it is, and then after 4 or 5 years, you cannot deny this happens. People start to become like almost elitist, right, which goes against the ethos, where they're like, oh, these people can't come. They're not about what we were about, rah, rah. How does that sit with you as a guy who's been doofing for fucking 15 years?
I think that like you said, it starts off as, you know, it's preached as a free love, no judgment zone. But I think a level of pretentiousness does always get thrown into these things, and that's due to, like, you know, the older heads sort of being filtered out and the younger generation coming through. You know, like, a lot of these people will go to these things, preach no judgment, this and that, but they're the judgiest cunts that are there. They're the entitled motherfuckers. They're the ones that are trashing the campsite, that are looking down on other people for having a good time, that are pointing and laughing at someone if that person's wearing something that they think looks ugly or some shit. So yeah, man, it can be a double-edged sword for sure, yeah.
So you're in that way, right? Because I remember when you first started going to Earthcore, you were the first kind of people, because before that it was really fucking, not necessarily underground, but it was like a specific type of person went. And I remember when you boys started, or you and your crew started going to Earthcore, including all the crew from Loud, there was this whole kind of backlash of like club kids going into the scene, right? So you were a club kid in those early days, and then now you're a fucking veteran. Yeah. And reflecting on that, sort of what was their experience coming into it, and then now becoming a veteran, what's the experience for new kids coming into it?
So the experience coming into it, man, it's like touches on, you know, what I said before. Like, it blew my fucking mind that I went into it with an open mind, and I was accepting of, you know, anything that came my way. in terms of, life lessons or, the ways of the festival or whatever. I just went with the flow, man. Like that's me to a T. I'm very chill, man. I just sort of lax. I just go with the flow, just take it as it comes sort of thing. I don't go into these sort of things as a lot of kids do these days with, preconceived notions and just stick to that and then just like stay firm on, bringing their bullshit into a space where it's not about that. Do you know what I mean? You can't be bringing all of the club or the city or, normal world ways into a festival because it's just going to clash and it's not going to work, man. You have to go there and just let yourself go and just sort of, go with the flow.
So were you guided by other guys who were older when you first came into that space, or was it something you just sort of figured out yourself?
Oh, a bit of both, man, for sure. Yeah, I've always kicked it with people my age, but also older crew as well. And I mean, obviously being a DJ and stuff, it's a mixed bag of people that are all ages in our world, So yeah, a bit of both for sure, man. But yeah, I'm big on teaching myself things as well. So yeah, like I said, going with an open mind. And I'm like a sponge, man. I just soak shit up that's around me, bro. And yeah, pretty much. So yeah, a bit of both for sure.
Talking about that psytrance stuff, dude, like I had sort of a similar moment. I personally wasn't into it. Like, I was sort of a club kid that was staunchly. And then I wasn't interested in going to the Doofs and shit. But when we started to do these reconnect parties with like guys like Captain Hook and Liquid, who was that fucking?
Liquid Soul, and Mandragora, and Ace Ventura.
Yeah, thank God you remember. But all those guys that we were doing it at the time with. But I remember going there again with an open mind. I think at the time we had Mandragora, first one we did.
Yep.
And I was watching him play and then I was watching the crowd react and I'm like, I get it now. There was this moment where it connected with me and I still to this day I love psytrance because I fucking saw it. And it's like once you see that crowd react to that psytrance and the woo and how off they go, it's impossible not to fucking love
100%.
it. 100%. And it's sort of, it sounds strange because people say, you have these moments that sort of change your life or whatever. But for me, psytrance opened up me to multi-genres because I was a diehard, like one of those fucking guys that sits on his pedestal going, I only listen to this style of techno and BPM.
Yep.
Once I saw that, I was like, okay, fuck, if I'm open to this, what else am I open to?
Yeah,
now I'm fucking into every single style there is. When you were sort of in that period too, how much did the going to Doofs and sort of experience that music change you as a person?
In every way possible, for sure. And, people often say to me, that they don't really enjoy psytrance that much or whatever. And I always just say, look, it's just because you haven't experienced it properly. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you just said, man, like once you experience it like that, when you're in the dust, when you're in the bush in front of those speakers and you're feeling it and like you're looking around and it's psytrance, it's more than just the music, man. It's the fucking community and the culture with it. Nothing compares to when you're looking around and every single thing that you see is a smile and you fucking look at the dude next to you, he gives you a hug for no reason, right? The chick next to you gives you a hug for the same no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just nothing but love, man. And it's a whole other world to techno and to all these other genres. And I love everything. But, to prove this theory, anyone that's watching, go and chuck a Boiler Room set on right now. Watch the crowd in that. Go and chuck a set on from Boom Festival in Portugal and then watch the crowd in that. And that says it all, man.
No shit.
Whole other worlds.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, it is right. And why do you think it is so different?
I think I don't know, man, to be honest.
I'm actually going to ask you something. So you said, I don't know, to be honest. I'm going to ask you this. Because you enjoy both, right? So I've seen you at both. I see you at fucking warehouse raves and I also see you at these sort of outdoor festivals.
Yeah.
But like, do you think there's a major difference or you can enjoy both?
Oh, absolutely. You can enjoy both for sure. Yeah. I mean, I can. Some people definitely can't. Like some people absolutely like one or the other and that's fine. But for me, I love being able to dip into both for sure, yeah. But like that's the thing with Psy as well. Like psytrance, like if you don't like it, you can't pretend to. You can't pretend because like you wouldn't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like if you sort of like techno, you can still stand in the back of a techno stage and sort of bop along. If you don't like Psy, it's gonna do your fucking head in because it's full on. You know what I mean? Like you won't have people that just wander over to the Psy stage and just hang out and pretend to have a bit of a good time because it's too fucking hectic, man. Yeah,
true. I get, and there's another point too there too. Like, at the moment you're seeing stuff where a gig will start and then within 3 gigs it becomes like a viral moment and the crowd comes through and they're not really there to dance or be a part of it. They're there to take pictures. Whereas if you're going to go to a psytrance festival and invest 4 days, it's almost too much to go get a photo, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
You got to go there for the right reasons.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you don't get people that are just going there for a selfie, man. No, I mean 99% of the time, I reckon. It's just a real cunts, for sure.
So all the festivals you've been to in Australia before you went overseas and started experiencing it, what's your favourite ones and what's some favourite moments of those festivals you've been at?
Rainbow Serpent's always going to be the GOAT, man, for sure. Like I said, the Captain Hook set or any of the market stage sets, you know, even when I got to watch Shannon and Lee, hands down and Lee Boy, who are two of my brothers, getting to watch them play on the market stage, you know, and Shan had his parents up there and stuff. That was a beautiful fucking moment to experience, you know, to watch them. In terms of other festivals around Australia, Dragon Dreaming's a really beautiful festival in New South Wales. And even Oranaya Festival, I played up there like 2 weeks ago up in Cairns. It was my first time in Cairns, and that was an insane gathering, man. Just small, you know, 2,000 people or so, and just in just a picturesque location, just around a massive lake in Cairns. Like, weather was beautiful. You know, like the thing is with the Doofs in Australia, Victoria, obviously we have some awesome ones, you know, but they're few and far between now, man. They're all going. There's fucking hardly any of them left because the government keeps shutting them all down. So, you know, you head up north, man, and that's where you're going to find some really special ones as well. People don't realize that, but there's a lot more around Australia than just in Victoria, definitely.
Has there always been that many up there?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah. Even in Western Australia, they got them, man. They've got them everywhere, man. There's a huge underground scene if you know where to look, yeah.
Yeah, no shit, I didn't know that. So what's your kind of opinion on the fact that they are shutting down? Like every fucking year there's 3 or 4 falling over now.
Oh,
what's your opinion on that?
Probably the same opinion as you, man. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
For what reason?
I just think they don't understand it. Like, this is my opinion with it. You got these old guys making decisions on something that they don't really get. You know, like they don't understand that these spaces mean so much to people, and they look at it and go, "Well, there's drugs there. Like, we have to shut it down." But you and myself have lived it, bro. Like, drugs aren't always negative. They can be. People can get addicted. They can fuck their lives up. But in the same breath, it can completely open your mind up, and it can be a life-altering experience. I myself don't do them anymore because, you know, I have my own fucking demons with it. But I don't regret doing them in those early days. You know, so
absolutely.
And I think that's like an open thing. I think the government's never gonna, I've talked on it heaps, but I just can't see the government ever being like, not ever gonna understand it, because the guys who are making decisions are the sort of dudes that probably never got to experience or would want to experience that shit. And they don't understand how important it can be to someone's life. You know?
100%, man. And that's right. These things, like, yeah, of course, like you said, there can be bad things to it, of course, but sometimes these experiences can save people's lives, man. 100%. You know, you go out there and have an awesome time, or any sort of partying, any sort of socializing in general. You know, this can be definitely positive to many people's experiences, and, you know, they just try to shut them down for what reason? It's just so black and white about it, but they'll let the races go, or they'll let, you know, sporting events keep going or whatever.
Gambling,
so,
gambling.
So those things should be able to go, of course, but there's no need for them to fuck with our stuff either.
Yeah.
And once they take them, man, they don't give them back as well. That's the thing. Once they're gone, they're fucking gone. That's it.
Yeah, they're never going to come back again. Nah.
No.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Hopefully one day they open up and change it. You know, as time goes along, conversations like we're having now, it's going to be the reason why maybe someone will accept it, or, you know, our generation's going to come up. Because that's the thing. You know yourself going to these events. It's not back in the day to see someone in their 40s or 50s at a rave was fucking was unheard of. Now there's heaps. You know, like I'll go to stuff flat out. Like I'm almost in my 40s and I'm bumping into people my age plus older, and they're there just fucking not even off guts, just having a good time. You know, like I myself go with the crew completely sober most of the time because we'll go somewhere else afterwards and eat. But it's like it's now ingrained in our personal culture. Like we fucking love it. It's a part of me. Like dance music is a part of me as much as it is you. Different experiences, but like when I hear that bass, it's like it does something to me that only I can understand and people like you can understand. But for me, I don't. There's eventually if I become a position where I'm making decisions, I'm gonna make decisions differently, right? Because I've got a different fucking connection to it, and I know it's not just about doing drugs, which they think it is.
Yeah.
You go overseas, right, and you start to experience doofs on a fucking way bigger scale. Can you run me through some of those experiences over there?
Yeah, so I've done Boom Festival in Portugal twice, and yeah, man, fuck, that is a bigger scale, man. Like that's, I think 35 to 45,000 or so people in the outback in Portugal. You know. Goes for about, I think I did about 9 nights there both times. And that is a whole other beast, man. That is that's the dream gig right there, that's for sure. Tell you that much. Yeah.
I know you do 8 days over there, but like me, I reckon I could do 2 before I fucking cooked out and had to go home. How the fuck do you actually do you have like a tactical way about approaching these doofs so you can last those 8 days, or you just do you go hammer and tong? Like what's the process? Walk me through that.
Man, like I said to you before, I'm a go with the flow guy. So I just fucking just run with it, man. I just go in there, open mind, you know, listen to the body, need to sleep, to have a snooze, whatever. It's based, the whole thing's around a massive lake as well. So having a constant water like hole to swim in, that helps you get through that sort of length of a festival as well, because it's hot there, man. It's like 40, you know, and it's so big. Like the walk from the RV to the dance temple, the main stage, was like 30 minutes, like pacing it on your own.
No shit.
That's not stopping to talk to people and shit, you know? Like, yeah, so it's a big festival, man. And the difference with those sort of festivals over there compared to here, or Boom anyways, is like festivals here, you know, the campsites are buzzing during the day still. They're always buzzing. There's always something going on in the campsites. Over there, man, when you leave your campsite, well, if you're in the RVs anyways, which is that far away, you're not going back there. It's that long of a walk. It's too hot. The hills are like that. You're not going back, man. If you leave in the morning or whatever, and that's it. You're down to the dance floors for the day. You know, so if you do go back up to those campsites, then it's a ghost town, man. Because it's too hot, it's too far, and yeah. So once you're planted down at that dance floor, you're staying there.
So comparing Boom to the Australian festivals, do you reckon we're as good as them ones, or what's like your thought on it?
Honestly, man, like I would say that Rainbow is just as good as Boom. Yeah, my opinion.
So kind of finishing up this arc of your bush doof period of your lifetime.
Yeah.
For someone who's looking to get into it, or maybe hasn't been, it doesn't matter if they're 18 or 14. Sorry, 18 or 14, 18 or 40. Is there any advice you can give to someone as a first timer walking into that space?
Yeah, just be open-minded. Yeah, judgment-free zone. Have the best time ever and just stay safe. Do it properly.
Full circle, bro, coming back into the nightclubs, which you've been playing for 15 years now. You're working on some new projects, one with Laura King called Double Pulse.
Yep.
Can you walk me through how that began and where the vision is for that?
Yeah, so Double Pulse. So me and Laura, you know, we've been extremely good friends for a long time, man. And we've always said that one day we're going to do a project together, you know, and it just sort of felt like the right time, you know, probably about a year ago now, I reckon. We decided, let's finally do this, let's team up. And because we have, you know, we're such similar people already in every way, but also, you know, especially musically, you know, we have this sick, just like style that we merge together. Because like, you know, I have my sort of darker sort of psychedelic stuff and she has this real cool, like, hypnotic sort of bouncy sort of vibe as well. And she also has what I've got and I've got a bit of what she's got. So when we do Double Pulse, it's just fucking bang, man. It all just comes together. And like we'll play these sets and it's just like we play one track for one track each. You know, I don't really like versing anyone in general, but if I ever do verse anyone, like I always like doing 2 for 2, you know? But with her, it's always, there's no question. We just do 1 for 1 and it just fucking flows so good. We're chopping tracks in and out. I'll be reaching over her to do an effect, you know, that she's like pretty much already doing something else at the same time perfectly. It's a symbiosis, man. The way that me and her work together, it's fucking really special, man. And the vision with that is like the sky's literally the limit for Double Pulse. Like, you know, I've full confidence it will be massive, massive.
Are you looking to go down that more club lane or are you looking at more their sort of outdoor doof lane?
Yeah, no, we want to be on massive stages, man. Yep. So
you've been in the craft since you were 14 or 15 years old and you still love DJing. So a lot of people fall out of love with it. You'll DJ a bar mitzvah if there's the right crowd there, right? Have you kept that fucking passion going and flaring? Because like of all the guys I know that was during that period of time, I feel like you love DJing the most.
Yeah, I do. I kept the passion going because I'm passionate about it, man. It's as simple as that. Like I got into it for the right reasons and I'm still in it for the right reasons, man. Like I don't do it for money. I mean, look, obviously I love money. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Right? But like, I just fucking love it, dude. And my biggest motivator is watching myself get bigger and better and more popular and build more fans. And every time someone comes up to me and tells me they love my shit, every time someone comes up and says they want a photo, every time someone fucking plays one of my tracks or listens to a mixtape, that just makes me want to get even fucking better. And that's what I used to drive myself, dude. Like I genuinely just absolutely fucking love what I do.
And so what, like, other than that, like what else do you get out of it? Is there some sort of fucking like, not to get into like woo-woo, but is there something else that you get like from the experience of DJing and being a part of these communities and cultures?
I think just the love, man. The love is what drives me more than anything. Yeah, just the feeling, you know, feeling accepted, appreciated, and, you know, the gratefulness that comes from that. Yeah, definitely. It's a massive motivator for sure.
So traveling around the world and going to all these doofs, no doubt you meet a fucking whole bunch of random plethora of people. And when it comes to the who's who of Melbourne, you know them all. Is there some interesting cats that you've met at doofs that you can tell us some stories about? Yeah, so obviously, you know, having my foot in so many different scenes, you know, Melbourne scene and then the psychedelic scene now, you know, obviously I've met a big range of people, you know, came up at the same time as people like Sparksy, as Will Sparks, you know, as Joel Fletcher and stuff. And, you know, they're the homies and watch what they've done is fucking incredible, right? I mean, look at those boys go, you know. And then I've also opened for, you know, Asterix and Neelix, you know, and people like that who are my literal heroes, you know. Like I remember I
opened for Neelix when he played at Brown Alley a couple of years ago, and he watched a lot of the set from behind me or whatever. You know, when I finished, you know, he's like, "Oh, great set, man," or whatever, and I just sort of tried to play it pretty chill, you know. He gave me a hug. I'm sort of like, "Yeah, cheers, bro. Glad you enjoyed it." Like, I'm sitting there thinking, Sammy, don't fucking melt right now. Like, Neelix is telling you liked his set, you know. So yeah, moments like that, man. That's where it's at, you know. Just this massive, just broad range of awesome people that I've got to meet, you know. Memories I'll cherish forever for sure.
We brushed over it a little bit before, but you were talking about the difference in club scene. Like now in Melbourne as a whole, like what's the two differences you see from back in those days to now? And why do you think the impact has been so great?
Well, I mean, obviously the biggest difference I could think of is going to be the music, for sure. You know, it still spins me out to think about the fact that 128 BPM was so normal for us, man. Like, that's so slow now. It's crazy. You play anything at 128, it doesn't even sound like music. You wonder how we used to even dance to it, dude.
I don't know either.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, my latest track I've finished is at 160, man, and it just hums along so nicely and it just feels so normal and natural. And, you know, the other day I put it down to 128 in FL Studio and I almost fucking quit producing, bro. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, you know, even like the house stuff that blew up was like 124, like that kind of like Patrick Topping when that all blew up.
Yep.
Like that shit now plays and I'm like, do they have this on slow-mo?
Yeah, I know.
It's so weird, but at the time they were like belters, bro, and like we were losing it, you know? Like,
yeah, dude.
But even 128, it's like all the boys I know that are playing, I'm like, just turn it up, man, to 133,
100%, dude. Yeah.
Just as like a solid pass, but fuck, the BPMs have changed so dramatically.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Dude, even like a couple months ago, I can't remember where I was, but I played Lovebirds in the Shadows. I played it at like 155 and it fucking slapped.
Did it?
Yeah, it came out at like 120 or something, man. Like, it's crazy, but that's definitely the biggest difference that I've seen. That and like to touch on what I said before, the whole social media, like how much that changed everything. Definitely changed a lot. You know, a good way to think about it is I'm booking another party under my brand Ignition at me and Josh Shepherd's brand Ignition at Revolver on October 18th. We were thinking about maybe doing it as like a costume party, you know, because back in the day, Revs used to do the costume parties, you know, and people would get around it big time. People would, you know, dress up, rock up to Revs, dressed up, fucking colorful, cool shit, you know, but then we sort of decided not to. And I think the consensus was a bit of the fact that like people just aren't, these kids just, they won't do it, man. And I think a lot of the reason is that because they just like, they'd be too worried about what people think to wear a fucking bright blue fucking or pink leotard or some shit, you know what I mean? And walk to Chapel Street just out of an Uber into Revs. And I'm generalizing, it's not everyone, but I feel like a lot of people these days, they just like, they're not carefree like we used to be, man. Like, you know, look at Day Spa, Porn & Co. We used to go there every Sunday wearing the stupidest shit, you know, wearing these funny costumes, whatever, walk around afterwards, walk to the hotel, walk to the Uber, whatever, walk to the kick on. I don't think that people would want to do that these days. Everyone's too concerned about what they're going to look like in that camera, man.
Yeah, I reckon there's a big part of it too is that cultural community. Like back in the day, we used to have like club families. I know a lot of your friends you've been hanging out with for fucking decades. You've met them in clubs and nightclubs. It's like a big part of your crew.
Yep.
But these days, kids don't do that. You don't go and meet people. You don't go clubbing and meet people. You go clubbing to like experience something or maybe fucking watch a DJ. But we used to go out to like hang out with our friends and meet new people. And because of that, there was a byproduct which would make culture and community. So, you know, back, you talk about those clubs early days, like you could tell where someone went by the t-shirt they're wearing.
That's right.
But that doesn't exist anymore. So you can't do these like costume parties or you can't really build these vibes that have to be experienced to kind of be a part of, because no one wants to continue to be a part of something over and over and over again because they can just catch up online.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It actually is night and day compared to the way it used to be, for sure.
So you talk about the kick, you briefly mentioned kick-ons before. Kick-on's a big part of our culture, has been forever.
Oh yeah.
Is there something that you've got of like a kick-on story that you can share with me that's a fucking good laugh?
One thing I can think of that's like sort of funny now in hindsight, but was really fucked up at the time is I passed out off the piss or whatever at a mate's joint on like it's probably like a Tuesday arvo or something by this point. And I have like pretty like bad ears, you know, I've got like holes in my eardrums sort of thing. I've had grommets and shit in my ears, whatever, over the years. And one of my mates, absolute dumb cunt for doing this, he didn't realize I had problems with my ears, but either way, he shouldn't do this to someone. He filled up my fucking ear. My head was like that. He filled up my ear with tomato sauce, right? So there was like, and like I kept sleeping for ages. And I woke up and I was so my head was like, felt like I had a knife in it. I look at my head, I think I'm bleeding everywhere, and I realize it's sauce, but like this fucking sauce has gone into like my inner ear, like through my fucking head. And I had to go straight to the hospital and get it all like syringed out and washed out and stuff. So like that was like, that's a pretty fucked up kick on story, yeah.
Tomato sauce in the ear.
Yeah, man, yeah. So,
Who would have fucking known that would have happened?
I know. So I had to go to the hospital and everything. It was pretty fucking hectic, but yeah.
So another part about you, dude, is you're like, you just don't stop. Like I talked about the 8 days at the Doof thing, and like you were able to pull through it. I know you well enough that I know it's water off a duck's back to you. You used to go out and DJ fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you were working full time at the same time. How the fuck were you juggling that?
Bro, look, man, if I get 1 hour of sleep before going to work, then I've overslept.
No shit.
Nah, but like real talk, like I made it work, man, because like I fucking love DJing and I wanted it to be my full-time thing one day, but you have to also be realistic, and I had to make sure that I still maintained a construction job as well when I had it, because like you have to fund that fucking dream somehow, man.
So there's a period where you were DJing and we talked about how much you loved it, but you almost got to a point where you might not have been able to for it. Definitely weren't allowed. You definitely weren't able to for a bit. You fucking cut your hand off.
Yep.
Can you run me through how you cut your hand off and what impact that had for your DJ career?
For sure. Look, long story short, man, I had a worksite injury. I was a timber floorer, and it was about a year ago now, and a piece of timber kicked back up into a drop saw, went through my hand, pretty much almost took it off. I was holding it on by a fucking thread. Almost died. It was pretty hectic. Modern day medicine and surgery is insane. Like they fixed it up real good. Obviously my movement's pretty limited now in that hand and stuff. But man, to be honest, it didn't really affect my DJing that much. Like, I mean, like it did for a little while, but like I was just playing with one hand, I was in a sling and stuff, and now it's at a point where, I can manage, but like Danny, man, they could take both my hands, I'd still make it work.
No shit. I know that's true too.
Yeah, I can play with your hands, bro. Like, I'll just make it work. Man.
Just look at the decks and move around with fucking telekinesis.
That's exactly right. But yeah, got pretty touch and go there with that for a bit, yeah. Yeah,
no shit. So, dude, that's the end of the podcast. We've been talking for a solid hour.
Mad.
First, I want to say thanks for coming down, dude. And again, I fucking love your passion. Have since the first day I met you.
Thank you, bro.
And from the beginning, from when I met you when you were 14, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, to now, nothing's changed. You love it more, I reckon, than you used to. So I just want to say, dude, thank you for being so passionate, because without people like you, this scene doesn't fucking work every single day, Like it doesn't grow either, because you're pushing the boundaries all the time. You're experiencing shit. You've got an open mind to willingness to change tunes or give people feedback. So dude, thank you so much for being a part of the scene and part of my journey for so long too.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, it's like, mate, it goes both ways, man. Thanks for everything you've done for me. Booked me since I was a kid, and thanks for everything that you're doing now, man. You're giving people a voice, and yeah, it's fucking awesome, mate. Yeah, you should be proud of yourself.
You're a legend, bro.
Cheers, bro. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.